personal thoughts on Hollywood Ending by Woody Allen. It goes, a director is forced to work with an ex-wife who left him for the boss of the studio bankrolling his new film. But the night before the first day of shooting, he develops a case of psychomatic blindness. Okay, this stars Woody Allen, of course, Tia Leoni, I assume that's her name, Bob Dorian, Ivan Martin, Greg Eldman, George Hamilton, Treat Williams. I mean, that's pretty much all the important shit, I think. But anyways, this is what I thought about it. I realized throughout all of Woody's films, the nostalgia pretty much wins all the time. Meaning, like how the girl he likes left him, but then he got her back somehow. But you don't really see that with Annie Hall much. So that's one movie where it doesn't happen. But I liked it. I liked the movie. I like most of his movies. I really like that he went blind. I one thing I do like about him or just his movies in general is how his conflicts are so like small but massive at the same time, but also like not drastic, sorta. Like how a regular movie, or I guess there's no regular movie, but how some movies like the issue's fairly big or whatever. But, like, his issue was already having to direct this picture, but then he goes fucking blind. But anyways, let's read some reviews before I even say mine, even though I kind of did already. It got 6.5 on IMDb. One guy said, one-liners steal the show. Allen is a director. In here, he plays one as well. He becomes psychoschematic blind right before he starts to shoot his picture for $60 million, which back then is a lot, even though it's kind of usual now almost. His agent tags along. Yeah, whatever. Okay, he's kind of saying the whole fucking plot. But basically, I'm trying to figure out how to dissect this. I'll start with the cast, I guess. Everyone does good. Everyone does good, I guess. It's very... I don't know, it's not his biggest cast yet. I don't know why I kept thinking of Tia Leoni or whatever the fuck. I was like, who is she? She looks very familiar, but like she's in shit. Like she looks so familiar in something else. But I looked at her IMDb and I couldn't really like think, oh, that's her. Even though she was in like the things I've seen her in is obviously Hollywood Ending, Fun with Dick and Jane, and Death of a Unicorn. Those like the most notable ones I can remember her from. But she didn't act how she acted in this movie. Of course, it's a different character, but it's like something about her delivery. Maybe it's just what he's directing, but I feel like every woman in every Woody Allen film could be swapped around. Either the movie will change or will not change. I feel like in his later movies in like the 90s to 2000s, Diane Keaton or Mia Farrow definitely could have like done it instead, and nothing would have really changed. But she did fine regardless. The other thing I really liked was how the ending pretty much foreshadowed what happened recently with Woody, or in the last couple years with Woody, and is that his film in the movie did so poor in the U.S., but the French loved it. And so basically, I think what's currently happened with Woody Allen since, let me go to his IMDb, since what's happened with Woody Allen is that since like Coupe de Chance or whatever the fuck, like since 2023, he started making films that are like only in Europe. Like Coupe de Chance was French. I'm looking at Rifkin's festival. Where the hell is this filmed? No, Rifkin's festival still had some American shit going on in it. But like, so Coupe de Chance was a French film. That was the last film he made. But then his next project is in Madrid. Basically, the point I'm making is that what happened in the movie pretty much is happening to him right now. It's that since he pretty much in the movie Hollywood Ending, he pretty much killed his career with this movie. but not fully. He only killed it in the U.S. because the French loved his movie, saying it was, I forget what the line was, but they loved it regardless. And basically now he's going to France to film movies and whatever. So, and that's pretty much what happened to him right now. Um, but no, I thought, what else is there to fucking talk about in this film? I I don't even know how to review something. Usually I kind of just, yeah, it was good. That's how I usually review things. I don't really say or think too much about it. I'm a very easy audience member. I'm just scrolling through the IMDb, seeing if there's anything worth mentioning. Music's fine. Nothing really fucking. His music's always the same, but not in like a bad way. They're all like great. Oh, the translator. I really like the translator character. I love how they used him. I love, one of my favorite things about some of his movies is that random characters have very important parts that are like you don't really think about when you see the character. It's like you're watching it and you think, oh, okay, that's the translator. All right, whatever, And then then the translator is so important to the actual whole production of things, And obviously that's just like the movie. That's the plot. But I don't know. I liked it. I don't know. I'm looking at the photos from the movie. The pacing was good. I will say I fell asleep halfway during this on the first watch, but that's for, I guess I was just tired because next day I finished it. But the pacing was good. I don't think the movie was the reason I fell asleep. I'll say, the whole love thing. I touched on that earlier. It's like he left. Like she broke up with him. Well, they get back together after they divorced, and I think it's interesting because she did leave him for Hal. Hal Yeager is the guy's name, but knowing she still loved him, I don't know. It's called Hollywood ending because of course it's a Hollywood ending that what he gets his way, and that's kind of how it usually goes in some of his movies. He gets the girl. Some movies, like what's an example? Broadway Danny Rose. He gets the girl, but he didn't really fight for her. He just kind of got her because she had nowhere else to go, I think. Because she kind of fucked his career. But regardless, I don't know, it's a common theme in his movies. The ex-wife who left him comes back with him, and I like in the scene when she's tucking him into bed. I liked that because I don't know, just sweet. And another common theme in his movies is that even if you break up, blah blah blah, there's always strings attached, and there's always, especially with children, there's a string attached, But I'm thinking right now about Everyone Says I Love You, or Everybody Says I Love You, whatever. In that movie, pretty much he's still so connected to his family, or his ex-wife and her and her new family and all that stuff. Everyone's very comfortable with each other, and that's something I feel like doesn't happen nowadays, where it's like if you break up with someone, at least in my generation, you better not speak to them, and if you're speaking to them, everyone's going to kill you for it, because you shouldn't be doing that. But there's maybe it's just an adult thing, but there's so much maturity, kinda, maybe, in his movies of like being comfortable with people and also like trust in relationships as well, because I don't know, I just, not many people I feel like now would even play with the idea of letting someone's ex-husband direct their movie. I feel like I'm jumping around a lot, but we're gonna let it be. I feel like Woody always puts his characters in position to get everything he wants back in the most inconvenient way possible, What's my fucking point? Fuck, we're already at 11 minutes. Well, I'll cut it down. We'll probably still be at 11 minutes though. But anyways, Woody's characters always sort of come out on top just by the skin of their teeth. And also part of me feels like the Ellie character, she obviously some bit of love left in the tank for Woody's character, because I feel like, I don't know, she has a lot of admiration and trust for him, and I feel like that's definitely because maybe some past feeling is still there. I don't know. But what else? What else was there? There's another thing I was gonna say and I forgot it. Oh, I'll rate it out of 10, I guess. It's like a 7. There's something else about the whole love thing. Oh, so he has like another common theme in his movie. He says young girlfriends, like in not husband and wives, in Manhattan, 17-year-old girlfriend. In this movie, he has another really young girlfriend, you know, not really young, I guess, but like young, you know, and it goes again with where whether it's like super mature or super immature with how comfortable everybody is with everything. Because when he kissed Elle and he told Lori, we breaking up because I'm with Elle again. She's like, oh, okay, at least I could still be an actress, you know. That's pretty. It shows like where their relationship was, shows like whatever. I don't care. Whatever. Okay, let me try and formulate the thought. Like this movie, like all of his other ones, for the most part, old strings that are still attached. That, and they stay attached regardless of who else is in the picture, and they always win, pretty much, And I really liked in the end of the film when Hal is talking to Ellie, and he says, like, the whole movie bombed. He finds out he shot it blind. Blah blah blah. He sits her down and he says, "Do you still love him? Your answer doesn't matter." And I thought that was great because then it gave her the opportunity to be completely honest. Because I feel like if he said your answer doesn't matter, or however he actually said it, could change if she still wanted to be with Hal. But she knew she still loved Val, and I don't know. I just think it's like, I think some of his characters. I think the characters around Woody are always 10 times more mature than Woody's character. Like Val was I don't know, his character, like, at some point with his movies, they're all so copy and paste. I read this thing yesterday of this girl talking about Seinfeld, and she was saying, like, watching Seinfeld is like your favorite band, because basically your favorite band could have 20 million songs that sound the same, but you listen to every song because they're all incredible, and basically, so for me, that's Oasis. I love everything Oasis, and I also love pretty much everything Woody Allen. And even though his movies are fairly similar, with you have a young girlfriend he gets broken up with, finds the actual love of his wife, blah blah blah. Kind of just like you have to, or like having the hypochondriac character type of thing, high maintenance guy or whatever the fuck, they're all there. They're all fairly there most of the time, and it also has a lot of like leave what you have to see what you really have type of thing, and you don't care at some point because they're all Woody and they're all great, So I know I really liked it. I liked it a lot. It's definitely not my favorite Woody Allen film, but it's definitely a good one. I think it's probably it's a bit more slapstick than for his later movies, if you compare them, because obviously in his earlier films it's a lot of slapstick, goofy, fucking funny fucky shit, and that's what this one still is about. Cause I'm just looking at his other movies. Radio Days isn't slapstick. Hannah and Her Sisters isn't slapstick. Annie Hall isn't too slapstick. Like, in a lot of his like 70s movies, it's very much for the most part of what I've seen, it's very much vocally funny, not physically funny. And that's something he kind of gets back to around the later 90s, I'd say, is he gets a bit more slapsticky, physical funny. Because when he was blind, them trying to hide the blindness was so fucking stupid. How the hell does no one, it's how the hell does no one, think? How does no one assume he's fucking blind? I know, but that's how a movie is. Everyone has to think he's blind. But anyways, I think I'm good. I think I'm good here. So, I liked it. I'm looking at other movies. I don't think I could even rate them on a fucking scale on where it stands with other ones. But it's definitely not his worst. While I'm at it, I think the worst Woody Allen movie I've seen is probably haven't even seen it yet because I've kind of chose to watch all his good movies for I'm still going through all of his movies, but I'd say it's definitely better than Deconstructing Harry to me. Deconstructing Harry didn't do it for me. That's for another time though. Anyways, thank you.